Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you for a album review. This is another album review I got a chance to check out for myself to see what I was going to think of this album overall. This is by Dogstar, somewhere between the power lines and the palm trees, I believe is what the album's name is. Yeah, that's what the album's name is. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for this 12-track album, which is about a 40-minute album overall, and I will let you know what I thought of this album. So let's dive into this album review now. Keanu Reeves is the bassist in this band, which I was pretty impressed because I was like, never thought I'd see Keanu Reeves in a rock band. Which honestly, that's pretty cool. He sounds like a pretty cool guy, honestly. So basically, they decided to come back. Dogstar did for this year, and Brett Domrose is the lead singer of the band. Keanu Reeves is the bassist, and the drummer is Raul Mailhouse. I believe is how you pronounce it. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but pretty much it starts with the song Blonde, and that's a solid track to open the album. Not the worst track, it's just a little mellow. I don't know if this is the kind of band I'd like, but they're not terrible, so 4.5 out of 5. How the Story Ends is a solid track too. Brett's vocals is okay in this track. It's hitting a range and then it's trying a little too hard, but in my opinion, I think the song works somewhat because of the execution, but it just, I don't know, it's solid, so excuse my yawning. I'm just getting really tired, and I'm really sorry about yawning. 4.5 out of 5 for How the Story Ends. Everything Turns Around is actually a pretty good song. I actually do like this track, so 5 out of 5 for this one. Then comes Overhang, and that one was a decent song. It's just mostly with Overhang, I just wasn't really on board with how it's sounding. Because it's like Brett is trying a little too hard with his vocals to make it sound good, but in reality it just feels like it lacks a little bit of tuning. There's some tuning that needs to be tweaked a bit in this track. So 4 out of 5. Dillon Street is a decent one too. I just wasn't crazy for it too much. Melody kind of threw me off, and I felt a little bored with this track, in my opinion. So 4 out of 5. Lily is a decent one too. Just, it's, you're gonna have your misses with albums, but this one was. Excuse my yawning. I have been yawning lately in my videos, and I am very sorry that I've been doing that lately. Lily is getting a 4 out of 5. Basically, it just, I don't know, I just wasn't on board with this track, with how it sounded. Lust is a decent song too. Don't hate it for what it sounds like. Just another miss in my opinion, but it sounds okay, I guess. So 4 out of 5. Brett Domrose's vocals kind of makes the song kind of go downhill a bit, but not in the worst way. Just mostly the melody is a little out of tune. Glimmer is a solid track. This is where the album starts to kind of bump its way back into more of the solid tracks, to making the rest of the album a little bearable to listen through. So basically 4.5 out of 5. I did review the track Glimmer, which you can definitely go check out that track review. I think it's with another review I did for Dogstar and another band. I can't remember, but 4.5 out of 5 for Glimmer. I still feel the same way I did when I reviewed it. It's a good track. Sunrise is a pretty good track. It's a good track, I would just say. With how it sounds, with Brett's vocals, I think it works to a degree, but some of the melody has its hits and misses, so 4.5 out of 5. Sleep is a solid one, too. Don't hate it for how it sounds. It's good in its own way, so 4.5 out of 5. Then comes Upside, and that's another solid track that I don't really dislike. It's under 3 minutes, to be honest, but I think it works for how it's sounding overall, and just basically Brett's vocals sound pretty strong in this track. 4.5 out of 5. And then comes the closing track, Breach, and in my opinion that is a good closing track to end the album. I wouldn't say my favorite, but it is a good closing track, so 4.5 out of 5 for how it sounds. Maybe in time these tracks will grow on me. Excuse my yawning. I am very sorry I've been doing that in this video, and in the previous videos too. I've just been so tired lately, I do not know why. But basically, overall, in my opinion, I think Dogstar's new album, Somewhere Between the Power Lines and Palm Trees, I think it's a average album. I didn't hate it for how it sounds. It's not too bad. Maybe Breach might grow on me. I might give it a 5 out of 5, to be honest, because I actually didn't hate the closing track. It was actually a strong closing track for how it sounded. So, yeah, I guess 5 out of 5. I have a tendency of changing my mind on if I liked it or not. So, basically, overall, for a score for me, I'm giving Dogstar Somewhere Between the Power Lines and Palm Trees a 7.5 out of 10. Not a bad album. It's almost good. So, I was a little impressed with how some things they tried to work with this album. Like, they tuned it in the way they wanted to, but there were some least favorites from this album, like Overhang to Lust. Tracks 4 to 7 were my least favorites. They were not the best tracks, but they were slightly boring but decent. But there are 2 strong tracks, and the rest of the album, I gotta see if it grows on me throughout time. But 7.5 out of 10 for Dogstar, Keanu Reeves' band. Brett Domrose is the lead singer, but Keanu Reeves is in this band as the bassist. So basically, 7.5 out of 10 for Dogstar, Somewhere Between the Power Lines and Palm Trees. Thank you guys for watching this album review tonight.